somebody. Listen, I'm telling you that these people, this is an affront to judiciary. And when we are talking about judiciary, we are talking about the bench and the bar. We are not calling MBA. Look at a colleague that came to do his professional work.
Stain with blood.
You stain the color with blood. We are talking about in court premises where a judge, you came to this court that a purported court order was disobeyed. Now you, in the presence of the court, while the court is still sitting, the court that issued the bail order was still sitting. You in the presence of the court, you disrupt the entire proceedings of the court. You cause commotion in the court. You beat people up. You get people and somebody arrested. We are talking about the one you did at Federal High Court yesterday. Please, for goodness sake, we are saying that we are saying this and we continue to say it. Nobody is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. We have seen series of presidents in this country. We have seen series of Inspector General of Police in this country. We have seen series of director of DSS in this country. And you should know that one day you leave that office. And when we are talking about this particular issue, everybody is keeping quiet. It's Sowore today, it's Nnamdi today, it may be another person tomorrow. Now tell me what this poor woman that is selling granite in the court premises, what is her own offense that will destroy her table? And everybody is keeping quiet. If it is a sane society, this is a grant for the president to receive an impeachment notice immediately.
Of course.
And we are talking about, I took the Inspector General of Police to court because he's not a police officer. As somebody who's not a police officer, why should he be an IG? The Constitution said that for you to be an IG, you must be a police officer, not a police retiree, for goodness sake. And when we are saying this, then everybody's keeping quiet. Everybody witnessed what happened in court. That there is no rule of law in Nigeria. There is no rule of law in Nigeria. You got him arrested, you subject yourself to court, and the court has now accepted them. And the court now grant them bail condition, granted their bail, and said, pending when they will meet up with their bail condition, they should be in with a prison custody. Yes. What are you doing? Are we having another DSS, something that happened in the coalition? You are dragging somebody that's supposed to be a candidate of a prison correctional center to yourself. It's wrong, and you must condemn it. I'm calling the MPA. I'm calling the judge should now order that Inspector General of Police should appear before him in person. It's not under immunity. The judge should order that Inspector General of Police should appear before him. We are going to approach the court now if he's still in the chamber. He should make an order that he should come and explain to him why his own order should not be obeyed. Thank you.
Granted bail to the prison, not at all. My name is Charles Ebenilu Obe. I'm a legal practitioner. With what I saw here today, I got so disappointed and frustrated because what we're seeing in this society, as if we're in a Gestapo society, which is not. They try to harass each and every one of us. The court has granted bail. Yes. The next thing, they brought a document and we asked, we want to see the content of this document. They insisted that no, we will not see. Let's know the place that the court has ordered that the defendant be taken to. They refused to show it to us. We insisted that document is a public document that we had the right to see. Even Sowore himself insisted that he needed to see, and they refused. The next thing, they were warning all of us, threatening us, wanting to beat us up because we want to fight for our rights as a country.
Should we start now? Yes, my name is Thomas Imoku. I'm one of the councillors for Sowore. The matter, the criminal charge against the protesters came up before the court today. The court granted bail to all the defendants. You know, it was a very liberal bail that two shorties that is worth 500,000 naira. And we felt ordinarily that maybe within the next 30 minutes, this bail will be perfected so that the defendants will go home. But the police officers who came, you know, they have cordoned off the entire of this environment today. If you have come to this place in the morning, you might not be able to enter, even if they know you are journalists. You know, there were about 2 roadblocks. So I think with the level of preparation with which they came today, their intention was that the defendants will not be able to get bail, and they have intention of taking them away. Are we together? they have intention of taking them away. So when they saw the bail condition, that it was something that this defender are going to meet in a short while, they were so disappointed. And I'm very sure out of the communication with the police authorities, they were giving clear instruction to ensure that something happened that truncated the perfection of that bail. The officers who were here in their multitude, led by CSP Liatu, who is the IP of that matter, is the also anti-vice under the CCID. He's one that led the officers to where Amoyede Sowore was sitting. He was precipitating provocation. Everybody were trying to be in control to say maybe within few minutes the bail will be perfected. He brought out a paper and said he has a remand order. The remand order how? The court is still sitting. The court that granted bail is still sitting. Where is the remand order? He flipped a piece of paper and he put it in his pocket. He gave order to the supporting officers. That's how they rough-handled everybody. They rough-handled everybody. They made attempt in the course of forcing Sowore into that vehicle. I am very sure they must have wounded him so much. The way they were holding him, the way they were pinning his hands against the vehicle door and all that. Myself, when I was talking to CSP Eliasu that, look, what is the issue? If these people had, if they couldn't meet their bail condition, the appropriate place they will be taking is prison custody. Where are the prison officers? Because he could not answer that question, he was angry. And because of pushing everybody, they injured me. I sustained injury, this blood on my bib, and many other persons. Some innocent persons were taken away. The woman selling food here, they destroyed her table. They wasted their food. There was commotion. And all the people that had the opportunity of raising up their food, they arrested all of them with their losses. And they whisked Sowore away together with those persons. So now the reality today is to show that people out there, when we talk about what is going on, that this is a master plan to victimize people, voices of dissent. They said now the guy should face trial. Why somebody has to open his defense and we don't want to follow the legal process? What signal are they sending to us today? What signal are they sending to the public? Are they encouraging people to have faith in the judiciary? When the judiciary has done its own job to give people bail, and the police will not allow that is that not that of court? People that are accusing Sowore and others of violating court order, are they not violating court order? There's a bail condition that is very simple and liberal. And the magistrate is very clear. He's very clear in his words. These are bailable offenses. These are bailable offenses, and he's going to give equal bail to everybody. He didn't give recognition to each person over the other. He gave them the same bail condition. Only for police to get the perfection of that bail. A flagrant violation is an attack on the judiciary. So if we live here today, and people are still talking about obedience to court order, we must be able to classify and understand it. Police are not in any way encouraging, they are not in any way for obedience to court order. What they have is that script they are acting. And it's that script that has led to what happened here today. You can see the set of violence. The lawyers were handled, people were handled, and at the end of the day, they whisked Omoyede Sowore away. So that is exactly what happened.
Today, it wasn't just funny. As I was coming to the court premises, what I saw today, I couldn't believe it. Even the judge who was about to enter, they denied him entrance to the court. Even me, I was like surprised what was happening and everything. Even at the end of the court, he was granted bail. For Christ's sake, the way they handled Sowore was just so, in fact, I just feel there is no justice in this country. It's just so bad. See how the policemen with bomb, what do they call this one? Grenades. Is it a war front? I don't understand. Let them go to Zafara now. The thing is just so, in fact, I just don't know. They are not making us to feel this is our country. It's just so bad. Everything, everybody was just running, even the court that was going on, everything was just disrupted. It's just so bad, honestly. My name is Mercy Oriwe.
So what we have seen today is a very shameful situation of the police, law enforcement agent using undue force on a Nigerian for no justifiable cause. What we have seen today is a flagrant abuse for the judiciary. What we have seen here today is a desecration of the temple of justice, because the police came in their numbers. In fact, one would think that there was a war about to happen here. Even as lawyers were resisted from entering into these premises. Even lawyers who were not members of the legal team of Mr. Sowore were stopped from coming to do their own case here. And when Mr. Sowore was granted bail, they were disappointed because I think they expected that the magistrate should connive with them in denying Mr. Sowore bail. Unfortunately, out of that disappointment, they went and manufactured what they called a remand order, a purported remand order. And when we demanded to see a copy of these purported remand orders, they refused to show any copy to any of the legal representatives of Mr. Sowore. Mr. Sowore is entitled to behold, to see. His counsels are entitled to see a copy of the court order which they purport to bind him. If there is a remand order and Mr. Sowore is here, and that remand order was legitimate and true, then he ought to have been shown. He was never shown any remand order, but at the point of questioning the police officers just to see a copy of the remand warrant or the remand order, they began to harass him. I have not seen this level of disgrace by a law enforcement agency since my years of practicing law. Courts were sitting, all the courts that were sitting had to rise because of the kind of chaotic way that the Nigerian police force conducted themselves in these premises today. So this is an abuse of the powers of the police. And then, it was not only Mr. Sowore that was affected in this chaos that the police demonstrated here today. Lawyers were affected. Lawyers were injured. Lawyers were arrested. Ordinary Nigerians who wanted to capture the experience of what was happening today were arrested and bundled out of this place simply for videoing the situation with their phone. People who were trading were beaten and their goods were destroyed in these premises today. Lawyers who came to represent a lawyer who came to represent a client here today was arrested because he was calling his client and say, okay, court is now sitting. Where are you now? They bundled him away that nobody should use phone because the police were in the premises and they were afraid of being videoed or being captured on tape because of the manner they were conducting themselves. So it is the highest level of misfortune. There are a lot of issues, but most importantly, the ordinary Nigerians who were affected here today, we must take it into account. The journalists who were affected here today must report it in mass. Many journalists were prevented from entering these premises today, and you all know. So let us report this in mass. Lawyers, we don't even know the lawyer. We are trying to look for the client who he came to represent, but he has been arrested and bundled out of this place today. So it's a shameful situation. It's unfortunate. It's an abuse of power, and it is not something that we expect that Nigerians should continue to condone, because they brought Mr. Sowore here on the purported allegation that Mr. Sowore has flaunted and violated court order. Meanwhile, they have flaunted and violated the court order granting Mr. Sowore bail here because they did not allow him the opportunity to perfect his bail. If you grant somebody bail and you give the person conditions, bring a surety. It is for me to now call somebody that I know meets the bail condition to come and surety me. They have not even given him the opportunity to call anybody or to discuss with anybody to come and stand surety for him. But we are working on all that procedure as it is now. AK Musa is my name. So, to make an appeal to the NBA to intervene on behalf of our colleague, one Barrister Abdullahi, who was harassed and bundled out of these premises today to an unknown destination and for an unjust cause. His simple offense was that he was making a call, calling his client. Because of the rowdiness that the police caused here today, his client was finding it difficult to enter the premises, and he was calling his client to come to the court. And the police, because they saw him using his phone, arrested him and bundled him away from these premises. So we are calling on the NBA to please intervene on behalf of this our colleague who has committed no offense other than coming to court to represent his client. The fear of the police was that they were being videoed and they didn't want anybody to use their phones. So we are calling on the NBA president and all the chairman of the various branches that we have. We don't know the particular branch that this lawyer practices, but we are calling on the NBA to intervene in this matter. Okay.
So, my name is Barrister Chimezi Oko. I'm surprised at what happened today inside the court premises. The way Sowore was beaten and manhandled inside court premises, while the judge has granted him bail. In fact, I've not seen this For the past 20-something years or 26 years I've been practicing, I've not seen this type. You see, it is really an aberration. And this was a desecration of the court premises, because even when a criminal comes here, he's assumed to be innocent until the contrary is proved. And when even if you detain a criminal here, once he comes here, you release him. You release him or the handcuff and everything, because inside the court premises there is an immunity. But the way police overtook the premises, even with their bullion vans, with all these armored cars in the whole premises, creating fear, creating panic among people. Even my client could not come in because he was afraid what is coming. You understand? Today is really an aberration. And the Ministry of Justice, the judiciary, the NJC should look into it. Even we lawyers, we are being intimidated when we say, Kai, why this thing can't go to the Zambiza forest? What you came in here is equivalent to what is happening in Zambiza. Here is not Zambiza. Here is a court premises. It has its own immunity, has its own respect. But desecrating it is by arresting somebody the judge has granted bail. That means it goes to no issue. That means you now render police above the judiciary, or is the judiciary still above the third arm of government? I'm really, really highly disappointed. I'm not happy with what happened today. Barrister Chimezi, I'm not happy.